What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim. As you can see, this video is titled, How Much Can You Earn Driving for Uber or Lyft? Don't Believe the Hype. And I'll explain to you shortly while I put that in there. Now, I've been driving off and on since 2014, so I've accumulated several thousand trips on both platforms. And I've been often asked by potential drivers, how much can you earn doing as a rideshare driver? So I feel I'm a little bit comfortable in answering the question. I've driven enough to be able to give you a comfortable spiel. Now, this is a follow-up to my previous video in which I gave tips, strategic tips on how to maximize your earning potential, because there is a minefield of BS that has come from both Uber and Lyft, in my opinion, essentially trying to pay you less. So I encourage you to watch that video that gives you my particular opinions on how you can make more, things you should do and things you should not do to earn more money. Now, you see these folks out here, folks claiming that they're making $2,000 a day, $6,000 a week, crazy stuff like that. And you look at your own income and it's like, I've been driving, I'm barely making $400 or $500 a week. What am I doing wrong? We're going to talk about that in regards to how you can make more. But I want to make it clear to you, a lot of that is, as Biden would say, malarkey. It's a bunch of BS. And I want to give you my spiel, my points on it, so that you don't end up sounding like this idiot.
Holy shit! I can't believe I made this much money doing Uber for 12 hours in just one day.
Now, the reason I say that is because I believe folks like that are deliberately misleading. Now, he has a page where he's talking about how he made $1,800 in 1832. That's what he earned, $1,818.32 in 42 hours. That's not like a whole lot of money, but I want to show you what's disingenuous from him and a lot of other drivers that claim that they're making these widely inflated amounts of money. And this is what you really need to understand, is that right now, particularly in 2022 and in previous years, Uber and Lyft are doing everything they can to try to restore some drivers and get folks back on the road. So they're offering a lot of promotions and benefits. And what I mean is, I'm going to have you watch this video, quick second, listen to this same gentleman bragging about how much he made, and I'm going to tell you what's wrong at the end.
Information I shared in this video. Please help this channel to grow by hitting the like button and leaving a comment. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. After I recovered the next week, I made $1,818.83, and it took 42 hours and 10 minutes.
Okay, now, if you look at his numbers, I'm going to try to put it up here. He claims he made $1,818.32 in 42 hours. What he doesn't tell you, and what most high earners do not tell you, is that a large portion of their earnings has nothing to do with them driving. If you look at the fine print on any of these folks who show you their earnings on screen, look at the column that says promotions or bonuses or other earnings in addition to what they actually earn. And sometimes you can even factor in tips. But in this case, this gentleman has $447 in promotions. That is money he did not earn by driving. Why is that important? Because you could do the exact same thing he did that day, and if they're not offering those promotions, you will make $447 less than he did. He earned $1,818. Minus $440, that's over 20% of his income has nothing to do with him driving. And it gets worse than that, folks. If you look at anyone that's posting these high numbers online of how much they made, there's a very good chance that if it sounds incredibly, it sounds like it's way more than you ever make, it's because there's promotions in there. Now, the problem with promotions, and I'm a big fan of earning promotions. In fact, I suggest you only drive when there's promotions, bonuses, or surges. But without them is how we normally drive. That's what the base fare is. Without that base fare, you're not earning anywhere near as much. Now, I'm going to show you another video. Here's an individual that made $3,442. Seems like a whole lot of money. Here goes. Now, once again, looking at the earnings, $3,442.49. That seems like a lot of money. But notice, $1,330.50 is promotional. That is money you cannot depend on having there. So once again, yeah, he made a lot of money, but a third of it has nothing to do with him driving. The only reason I'm trying to point this out to you is that the folks who are bragging about how much money they're making is disingenuous. If you are new to the ride sharing game and you think you're going to start driving and earning these wages, that's not true. Even these folks who are making the money, go find them and ask them, how long was that promotion being offered? Because you can clearly see without it, they're going to be making significantly less. In that last video, that promotion of $1,133.50 is over a third of that person's income. It's a third of their income. If you take that promotion off, they're making 33% less. And this is all up and down the board on how much these folks are making. Now, obviously, there's fuel and other things and expenses in there. We're not even talking about that. I'm just trying to point out to you that the high earners on Uber, the high earners on Lyft that are posting this stuff online is being disingenuous to you. Now, I'm going to show you a video of what a true driver, if you want to know how much you can make doing this in regards to ride sharing, I'm going to show you a video of what true drivers earn. Not a lot of bullshit, not a lot of crazy promotions, just what a true driver earns. Go.
I usually drive anywhere between 4 to 6 hours a day. That's the typical day for me. So on this day, working 5 hours, I made $23 an hour, which is awesome. The next day, on Wednesday, I worked for 5 hours and 52 minutes and made $116.16. When breaking that down, my hourly rate for Wednesday was $19 an hour. So still good, but I usually make $20 an hour and that's what I usually expect. So 19 is somewhat lower than usual. Still not bad though. Thursday, I only worked for 3 hours and 44 minutes and I made $80.93. On that day, my hourly rate came out to $20 an hour. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I took the days off. So for the week, I had made $311.97, working 15 hours and 26 minutes. So overall, for the entire week, my hourly rate averaged to $20 an hour. So how I get to $20 an hour, this is what usually works for me, and I recommend you guys doing this, is starting early in the day. Here in Los Angeles.
Whoa. Now, she lives in Los Angeles. $20 an hour. $20 an hour minus expenses in Los Angeles. That's nothing, folks. $5, $6 a gallon for gas. $20 an hour before expenses. There's no promotions there. That you see her, she earned $311.97 driving part-time, 15 hours of work. She calculated it to come at $20 an hour. Now, she says in the video, I didn't show the entire video, but she says she would like to get it up to a few bucks more. But she's being realistic. That's what you can earn without promotional codes, bonuses, and surge pricing. That's what most drivers are earning. Now, if you do live in a bigger market like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Boston, yeah, there tends to be more surge pricing, particularly right now while they're short of drivers. But I'm wanting to give it to you real to show you from a long-term standpoint what it's really like. I'm not going to show you a picture that includes ridiculous promotions, ridiculous surge pricing and things like that may dry up at a moment's notice. What she earned is what you can reliably depend on earning day after day. If you had to make a decision based on renting a new apartment, maybe purchasing a vehicle and having auto loans or something like that long term, her description is what you would accurately be earning, not the gentleman before that I posted where they got 1/3, 25% of their income that's based on promotions. That stuff's not going to be there. So when folks ask you when folks want to know what they can make, it's folks like her. I'll give you another. This is a true driver. When I say true driver, I mean they're giving you true numbers without the BS. Go.
On the 4th, I drove for 9 hours and 8 minutes and I made $238.19. On the 6th, I drove for 6 hours and 10 minutes and made $135.73. On the 8th, I drove 4 hours and 4 minutes and made $96.10. On the 9th, I drove 4 hours and 2 minutes and made $71.24. And finally, on the 10th, my last day of the 2 weeks, I drove 3 hours and 34 minutes and I made $84.70. So in those 2 weeks, I drove roughly 56 hours and my hourly breakdown before expenses ended up being about $20 an hour.
Now, you'll never hate either one of those women. There, once again, 56 hours, she averaged $20 an hour. That's a lot more legitimate, and that, once again, does not include how much she's spending on fuel. You think you would ever hear either one of those ladies sounding like this?
Holy shit! I can't believe I made this much money doing Uber for 12 hours in just one day.
Probably not. Probably not, because they're not making that, they're not claiming anything crazy. They're driving at Uber or Lyft's regular rates. And that's why I say in my other video that I highly encourage you to watch, where I give you strategic tips on how to maximize your earnings to avoid driving Uber or Lyft for base fare. $20 an hour, Los Angeles, minus expenses. You could probably work at Burger King and earn that. I'm going to follow up the video. Here's what appears to be one of the highest earners in the United States for 1 week's worth of work. I want you to look at this video, and you will obviously see what I'm talking about.
Did that in 1 week is just went out and drove pretty much the entire week. And as you see on the screen right now, that driver made $6,100.70 for 1 week.
There you go. $6,100 in 1 week. $6,100 in 1 week. Sounds extremely impressive. Did you see how much money was earned from promotions? I believe they offered that person several $1,000s. Like if you do 100 rides in a month, we'll guarantee you a certain amount. The guarantees, once again, are not predictable. Every market they have that. You know, if you drive 40 rides in a weekend, we'll guarantee you'll make $400 or something like that. That can be and often is taken away at a moment's notice. That is, those bonuses, promotions that they're talking about there, or those guarantees, none of that stuff is predictable or certain to happen for any length of time. Don't base anything in regards to how much you can earn based on a guarantee, a promotion, or anything that is not from base fare. Your base fare, depending on market, is probably 60 some odd cents to about $1 per mile. That is all you can base your earnings on. So when someone asks you how much can you make driving for Uber or Lyft, it's anywhere between 60 cents a mile to $1 a mile. Promotions and guarantees are not certain. And neither are tips either, by the way. In this industry, tipping is not very good. So anytime someone tells you how much they made, that's all I ask. Look at the fine print. When they give you a screenshot, look for that promotion stuff in there. And when you see a big number in that promotion category, just realize what they're telling you is BS and highly unlikely. It kind of reminds me of the weight loss commercials where you see Jared, I lost 200 pounds eating Subway sandwiches, or, you know, lifting this, doing weights on this machine has caused me to lose 80 pounds. And at the bottom of the screen, it says results are not typical. That's what applies here. When you see these big promotions, big guarantees, results are not typical, meaning you could do the exact same thing that they did in your market, same passengers, same distance, and make nowhere near the same amount of money because you have no control over whether those guarantees or promotions will be offered. Catch you guys later in the next video. Don't believe the hype.